We now know that three people at the very top of Donald Trump's campaign for president, his eldest son, Donald Trump Jr., his son-in-law and close aide, Jared Kushner, and his former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, took a meeting with a Kremlin-connected Russian lawyer last June after being promised, quote, information that would incriminate Hillary, information that was, quote, part of Russia and its government support for Mr. Trump. Now, that email was sent to John Jr., who forwarded it to Manafort and Kushner. They all knew and they all attended the meeting. Yet a month and a half later, after the release of the hacked DNC emails, Manafort explicitly denied any ties to the Russian government.
Are there any ties between Mr. Trump, you or your campaign, and Putin and his regime?
No, there are not. It's absurd, and there's no basis to it.
Absurd, no basis. That same day, John Jr. responded angrily to a Clinton campaign claim that the Russian government was seeking to help Trump, something he knew at the time to be true.
It's disgusting. It's so phony. I watched him bumble through the interview. I was able to hear it on audio a little bit. I mean, I can't think of bigger lies, but that exactly goes to show you what the DNC and what the Clinton camp will do. They will lie and do anything to win. I don't mind a fair fight, but these lies and the perpetuating of that kind of nonsense to try to, gain some political capital is just outrageous, and he should be ashamed of himself.
That man, who was quite evidently passionate and exercised about the outrageous claims being made, that man has now admitted he tried to get damaging information on Clinton from the Russian government. Then there's Jared Kushner. Now, Kushner's not on tape a lot. Kushner, who would reportedly later attempt to set up a back channel with the Russian government, possibly in their facilities, to evade detection from U.S. intelligence agencies, he did not disclose the meeting with the Russian lawyer on a security clearance form. And that was one of at least 3 meetings with Russian citizens linked to the Kremlin that Jared Kushner did not disclose. We don't know if President Trump himself was aware of the meeting. The White House says he wasn't, but we know it took place in Trump Tower. We know that the future president was in Trump Tower on that day. We also know the man who sent the email promising Russian government dirt to John Jr. offered to, and I quote again, send this info to your father via Rhoda. That's Trump personal assistant, longtime trusted aide and gatekeeper, Rhoda Graf, though we do not know if he did so. If the president did know that the Russian government was actively seeking to help him, it puts everything he's done regarding Russia, from his repeated charges of fake news all the way to the firing of James Comey, into a whole new context, not the least which, this moment.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.